Hey you guys, I am so excited to be here today talking about all the books. We have a lot to talk about today. I went a little crazy at the store. I don't know why Silas and Millie are acting a hot mess. Also, these are all Christian, by the way, or faith-based, clean romance, yeah. So anyway, we have Summer in the Spotlight by Liz Johnson. Super cute cover. We love a good lighthouse moment. We love a good lake moment. I'm a sucker for this cover. Let's see. It says, this summer is a season of rebuilding, restoration, and romance. Kelsey Ahern has performed at the Victoria Playhouse on Prince Edward Island since she was 11, but when a hurricane destroys the building, it's not just her memories that are in jeopardy. Her future as a drama teacher is too. She teams up to Levi Ross, the facility director at the high school, to produce a benefit show to raise money to rebuild the theater. Levi has a reputation for being able to fix anything, and Kelsey is sure that there's more to a quiet man than meets the eye. For his part, Levi has admired Kelsey for years, but he can't seem to find the words to tell her. When a popular weatherman arrives in town to cover the aftermath of the hurricane and takes an interest in Kelsey and her show, Levi realizes that the time has come to speak up or lose the heart of the woman he longs for. Period. Okay, that's cute. That's cute. Okay, I just decided while I'm doing this, I don't know what book I want to start with. I'm going to be putting them into different categories of things that interest me the most. So this one already, green flag, just because she's a teacher, a drama teacher, so she's a fine arts teacher. If y'all don't know, I'm a dance teacher in a K-8 school, and I also do dance studio stuff and choreography, but I'm a K-8 actual dance school teacher. So I'm interested in that because she's a drama teacher. And hurricane, you know, it is kind of hurricane season where I live, so that might be a little juicy. I'm gonna put that over here. Next up, we have The Year of Goodbyes and Hellos. This cover is really cute. It's really simple. I love it. An emotional and moving story of family, grief, and forgiveness. Depending on how emotional though, I don't know if I want to be in my feelings this week because I have been reading Redeeming Love, which that's like my night read because if I read it in the morning, it kind of makes me like a little depressed. I haven't got to the good part yet. I'm still at the beginning, but that book has wrecked me so much. Like I have cried. I can't do another emotional book right now, but let's see. Dr. Kristen Tremaine prides herself on being one of the best oncologists in the business. She knows her husband and children have had to make the sacrifices for her career, but she comforts herself with the knowledge that saving lives is her calling. That calling becomes all the more urgent when her sister Sherry is diagnosed with late-stage ovarian cancer. Determined to save Sherry's life, Kristen drops everything to guide her sister on the harrowing cancer treatment journey. When she's unable to balance the strain of caring for her patients, being a wife and a mother, and her frantic efforts to save her sister, Kristen's carefully balanced life crumbles, starting with her marriage. Desperate to regain her footing, she vows to rebuild her broken relationships. As soon as she's sure Sherry will beat the odds stacked against her. Unlike her sister, Sherry Reynolds has worked to cultivate balance in her life, her children, and her job as a teacher. Her strong faith to keep her grounded until her diagnosis sends her spiraling into the scary world of what ifs and unknown outcomes. Sherry faces the agonizing realization that family history may be about to repeat itself. With the clock ticking, she's determined to use whatever time she has left to heal old wounds and restore relationships. Together, the sisters are forced to re-examine their priorities, address the still tender wounds of their childhood, and delve more deeply to discover what it means to live each day to the fullest. This book sounds really beautiful. It really does. The last one caught my eye more, so I'm going to put this one over here. You will be read at another point this year. Let's keep going. The Last Way Home. Okay, so there's two books, I think, that were in my last video that was like a year ago, and I honestly haven't read, so they're back here, all right? And I think that this is one of them. The Last Way Home by Liz Johnson. Every broken thing can be made beautiful again. Wow. When Eli Ross left Prince Edward Island to join the NHL, I remember this one, yep. He left a broken family behind. More than a decade later, he's headed home to an uncertain welcome. He wants to make things right with his family he wronged, but his mom's business partner isn't making it easy. To top it off, the coaching job he takes out turns out to be more of a challenge than he anticipated. For years, Violet D has put everything she has had into making Eli's mom's ceramics shop a success. Oh my gosh, ceramics shop, that's really cute. And she's not eager to forgive the man who hurt the family that's taken her in as her own. But when the kiln at the shop starts a fire that nearly destroys the studio, she'll need all the help she can get to save the business and their summer income. When Eli and Violet come together, they must find strength to mend the broken pieces of the Ross family and heal each other's hearts. Oh my gosh, and I'm actually just realizing that this is the same author. This book is still winning for my first read right now. This is really cute. It's like a beachy cover, like a lake. I don't know if that's a beach. I don't know. It's kind of giving beach house though. This sounds really cute. I don't know if this is gonna be my first read, but I am really interested that it is based off the NHL because I freaking love hockey. And I honestly think that whenever I go to my city's hockey game, I'm gonna be inspired to read this after. So I'm gonna save this, but I'm really excited for it. Next up, we have Love in Tandem by Becca Kinzer. And listen, I kind of already started this, but I don't really remember. I read it 2 weeks ago and it was only one chapter. So I'm gonna take this bookmark out. Also, just a thing, whenever I was in Barnes and Noble, they had a Christian book section, and then this was the only book, and it was thrown on the ground, and I was reading it and I didn't think that it was Christian, but it sounded so freaking cute, and I was like, Clarissa, you're really trying to not read secular books. You're trying to keep it Christian and the Bible. So Christian, the Bible, Christian romance, clean romance, and the Bible. So this isn't gonna work. But I just really love the story, and so I had to look it up, and it turns out it is a faith-based book. That's cool. So I got it. Anyway, after a failed engagement, drama already, oh my gosh, and her mother's battle with cancer, Charlotte Carter's life is finally turning around, and now she's landed her dream job teaching music. Okay, I'm literally remembering why I want to read this book. Okay. What she didn't see coming was the imminent closure of the school's music program. She's determined to save it, even if it means getting creative. There's no way she's chalking this up as just another failure in her book of recent embarrassments. Zach Bryant is back in town just long enough to see his brother Ben get married, and then he's off traveling the world again. He's never imagined he'd run into Charlotte Carter, his brother's ex-fiancée, or that everyone believed he and Charlotte are an item. He certainly never dreamed that he'd end up riding a tandem bicycle hundreds of miles with her in an attempt to raise funds for the defunct music program. But how could he say no when the prize money would help him get out of his financial predicament too? So cute. Charlotte is sure that she can set aside her differences with Zach long enough to cross the finish line and win the giant cash prize, can't she? A few hundred miles in, and she's questioning her deeply held assumptions about Zach and wondering if maybe tandem biking is only the start of their biggest adventure yet. Oh my gosh. This book is so cute. This book is so cute. And I honestly, right now, I don't know which one to read. I don't know which one to read first, and I haven't even gotten through all of them. But this is cute. And the reason why I love this, just like the other one, is, well, I'm recently engaged. So there is an engagement, it's a failed engagement, but I don't know, engagement, mother's battle with cancer. I hate that I can relate to this. And then she also is a music teacher, so another fine arts teacher, and her program's getting shut down, which is crazy because I actually was told kind of recently that I may not be able to come back as a full-time dance teacher because they had to cut funds. And so we've been working through that. So I just feel like I can really relate to this book. It's really cute. It's really outdoorsy. The guy is a world traveler. I'm excited for this. This is making my life really hard. moving on. Positively Penelope. I'm not gonna lie, I almost did not get this one, but because it was Christian romance, I knew I wanted to read it eventually, and so let's see what it's about. The world could do with a little bit more kindness and positivity and random acts of singing, don't you think? Dear reader. Cute. Okay, I like that. Oh, I didn't say it's by Pepper Basham. Sorry. Pepper. Cute cover also, by the way. It's a cute cover. I'm gonna be honest. It's a cute cover, but it's not the type of cover that usually gets my attention for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. What covers do get my attention? Apparently, like, things with blue. All of my book covers are blue. I do know that. Anyway, let's read what this is about. Dear reader, my name is Penelope, and while I may not be a real-life princess, I've been told I possess a certain fairy tale heroine quality. A wheeled optimism as my weapon of choice, don amazing shoes and vintage hats wherever possible, and speak in musical references, all in which perfectly qualifies me to succeed in my new role as a marketing intern as the historic Darling House Theater on the island of Skymar. I realize why I got this book now. Only if it seems this internship position is going a lot bigger than I thought. The Gray family who owns the theater has been stuck in a rut of darkness ever since the loss of their matriarchs. Now all that's left is a dying theater, a reclusive grandfather, 3 siblings, and an adorable 7-year-old girl who desperately needs some pixie dust magic. So that's what the story is about. My plans to save the theater. Plans that somehow keep being stolen by a local competitor and an anonymous online theater troupe. And 2 single brothers who may be vying for this American girl's heart until they're not, or maybe they just want me for my ideas too, and a dream offer that will require me to take a truly heart-wrenching decision. I may not excel at finishing stories, but I promise to see this one through happily ever after. Cute. I got this because I work at a theater and I can relate to her in that way. I literally love, like, any book that I can relate to as far as work goes that kind of takes me, like, in, like, that's in my world and I can relate to it, but it's in a different world. I don't know. I love it. I love those tropes. So I'm going to be reading this. I don't know when I'm going to be reading this, but I'm going to be reading it. Super cute. Go Miss Pepper. Next up, we have Love Does by Bob Goff. So obviously this is different. I think this is my only nonfiction book that I have. I got this whenever I was with my friends down in Seaside, and yeah, everyone's like read this book, so I figured I would throw it into the bag. As a college student, he spent 16 days in the Pacific Ocean with 5 guys and a crate of canned meat. As a father, he took his kids on a world tour to eat ice cream with head of state. He made friends in Uganda, and they liked him so much that he became the Uganda consul. He pursued his wife for 3 years before she agreed to date him. His grades weren't good enough to get into law school, so he sat on the bench outside the dean's office for 7 days until they finally let him enroll. I'm actually not going to read all of this. I've just heard that it's really inspiring. It says, each chapter is a story that forms a book, a life, and it's something you don't want to miss. Light and fun, unique and profound lessons drawn into Bob's life and attitude just might inspire you to be secretly incredible too. So I just heard that this book is really inspirational. I had motivation to read this when I was in Seaside, but now I'm not gonna lie, I don't, just because I don't get into nonfiction as much as like my fiction romance. So I'm gonna read this eventually. I just don't know when. So it's gonna go on this side. Sorry. All right, next up we have The Light on Halsey Street by Vanessa Miller. And I actually have What We Found in Hallelujah. You're gonna see that in a second, to be honest. But I haven't officially read a book by her. I do know that she's a Black author, which, like, yes ma'am, we absolutely love. because I just don't think that don't think that there is enough like Christian romance representation in general, but then especially Black Christian romance writers, or just like Christian writers in general. So I'm really excited to support her. So again, The Light on Halsey Street. In the summer of 1985, Lisa Whitaker is a church kid headed to college on a scholarship with her best friend Dana, while her best friend Dana is floundering in the wake of her mother's latest eviction. Though Lisa tries to help, their paths diverge. 15 years later, Lisa has a beautiful family and is stepping into her dream job as the director of social services organization. Everything is going right until her future is snatched away by identity theft. Ooh, the drama. Her life begins to unravel, and Lisa wants nothing more than to see the woman responsible pay for her crimes. When she was a teenager, Dana Jones has always felt alone in the world. Her mother was addicted to drugs, her boyfriend was entering the life of crime, and it seems that Dana too was heading down the wrong path. The only bright light was her friendship Lisa. Now in the millennium, Dana finally gives herself permission to dream, to believe that she is stepping into better days, but when the betrayal of her friendship comes to light, it will take a lifetime to forgive the destruction that youthful summer in Bed-Stuy set in motion. In this latest story from beloved author Vanessa Miller, two girls from the Bed-Stuy neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York, find that their paths have been woven together by the love of community and a friendship that is tested by time, betrayal, and forgiveness. This sounds really cute. Obviously not romance. It's a story of two best friends, which I'm not gonna lie, isn't usually what I look for. But again, super cute cover, and I knew Vanessa Miller. I don't know her personally, but hey Vanessa, if you're watching this. But I just really wanted to support. So I do see myself reading this like very soon. Probably sooner than my other ones that I put over here. So yeah, also like, hey Brooklyn, New York. I love New York, I love Brooklyn. So yeah, that sounds super cute. I'm really excited for this book. All right, so another Vanessa Miller book, What We Found in Hallelujah. If you watched my last video, I actually had this on my, I think it was like a spring TBR, and I did read a few chapters of it, and I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't get into it, but I'm not gonna necessarily blame the book or the author. I think I couldn't get into it because I was trying to read at like a very hectic time of my life, where I was also picking up like 50 different hobbies. I think I started crocheting around that time, which has completely like taken over my life. And so I just wasn't consistent enough with this. And so I did put it down, and I have not picked it up in like over a year. But that being said, again, Vanessa Miller, like I was just saying, I really feel like I want to support this author, and so I am going to be reading this again. Also, this is just like the cutest cover in my opinion. This is like one of my favorite covers, so super cute. I'm just gonna read it through again. I'm sorry if you watched my last video and this is a repeat, but good things never happen in November, at least not for the Reynolds. You know, this, I could read this in November. At least not for the Reynolds woman. It was a month they lost their patriarch, and the month when 14-year-old Trinity went missing during a tropical storm. So Hope Reynolds isn't surprised when it becomes a month she walks in on her boyfriend kissing another woman, or when she receives a panic call from her mother about a mistake that could cost the family their treasured beach house. Meanwhile, Faith Reynolds Phillips is facing her own financial struggles. She's also looking down the barrel of divorce and raising a daughter who reminds her so much of her younger sister, Trinity, that sometimes it physically hurts. The last place Hope and Faith want to be is in Hallelujah, South Carolina, during hurricane season. Going home will force them to confront their secrets that have torn their family apart. But if they can survive another storm, they'll have a chance to rebuild on a new foundation, the truth. In the latest novel of the prolific writer Vanessa Miller, three women must find the strength to endure the storm and the faith to believe in a miracle. One thing that I do want to say about Vanessa Miller's books, I can tell from reading them that they are Christian. Like, not actually reading the books, but just reading the back, I can tell that they're faith-based. Whereas a lot of these other books, I can't really tell that they are faith-based. I just know that they're gonna be clean. Just after like the reviews and just reading it, like, you know, nothing crazy is gonna happen. But I will give her like 1,000 props that I feel like she actually incorporates Jesus into her books, which I love seeing. Even just from the names like Hope, Faith, Hallelujah, enduring the strength of a storm and faith to believe in a miracle. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of beliefs. Church kid, just, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? I'm gonna give Vanessa Miller her props, because that is one thing that I would like to see, is not only clean romance, but also like incorporating Jesus and faith and miracles. So we're gonna move on to Love Unscripted by Denise Hunter. If this isn't giving beach read, I don't know what is. Like, this is a really cute cover. At the heels of a bad breakup, Chloe Anderson poured her heart into penning the perfect boyfriend, and the result was an off-the-charts debut beach read that resonated with women worldwide. Now Chloe's scripted hero is headed for Hollywood when her book destined to become a major motion picture. Wow, Hollywood. When Chloe gets wind that silver screen bad boy Liam Hamilton has been cast as the ideal in every way hero of her novel, she's horrified by the film director's choice. How could a player like Liam possibly do Chloe's perfect hero justice? Unafraid to speak her mind, Chloe lets her executive producer know she's 100% opposed to the casting. And oops, the call is on speakerphone, where the annoyingly attractive Hollywood star hears Chloe's unbridled outrage firsthand. When Liam's reputation already on the rocks, his agents concocts a PR plan to upgrade Liam's image while putting the story and the film in the spotlight. The catch? During the movie's filming in Chloe's cute hometown of Stillwater, North Carolina, Chloe and Liam will fake a wholesome, committed relationship. Both stand to gain something from the arrangement. Liam's fans will see him in a new light, while Chloe can boost her struggling social media following and further her writing career. What could possibly go wrong? As author and actor navigate the waters of the PR relationship, they're unprepared when their professional agreement turns into an actual friendship. And when serious sparks start to fly, well, there's an unread chapter for both of them. Okay, this is really cute. Okay, this is really cute. This sounds really cute, but I'm confused on like the cover and the story. Did I miss something about a beach? I guess North Carolina. Maybe it's the North Carolina. So I'm not gonna lie, this cover does not match the back. Or like, not the back, I keep saying the back. This cover just doesn't match what this book is about, in my opinion. I mean, besides like the North Carolina, this seems very like Hollywood, social media, PR. I just would have chosen a different cover. I don't know. I'm gonna read it and give you guys a review, because it's really not the cover that matters. But I don't know why I thought that this was gonna be some type of like beach-based book. Did you? I don't know. I'm confused. This sounds really cute. I'm probably not gonna read this next, but I relate to the Hollywood thing. I don't relate to really anything else, but it does sound like a really fun story. So that is on the list. Next up, we have Something Good by Vanessa Miller. I did not know that I had this. Hello, Vanessa, again. Let's see. Also, really cute cover. I love her covers. I love the colors that she uses. Just really, really cute. Marshall never meant to cause the accident that left John Robinson paralyzed, but through the guilt plagues her, her husband hopes to put the past behind them. After all, he's in the middle of selling a tech business, and if Alexis admits to texting while driving, the deal could collapse and cost them millions. Meanwhile, Alex's life is not as shiny and perfect as it may seem from the outside. She has secrets of her own. As she's become consumed with thoughts of the young man she hits, can she reconcile her mistakes and her husband's expectations? Trish Robinson is just trying to hold it together after the accident that left John dependent and depressed. As the bills pile up, Trish and her husband Dwayne find themselves at odds. Trish wants to forgive and move on, but Dwayne is filled with rage toward the entitled woman who altered their lives forever. Trish can't see how anything good can come from so much hate and strife, so she determines to pray until God intervenes. Then, one afternoon, Marquita Lewis rings the doorbell with a baby in her arms and changes everything. Vanessa Miller's latest inspirational novel reminds readers that differences may separate us, but if we cling together, God can bring something good out of our very worst moments. And this is exactly what I mean. That last, but if we cling together, God can bring something out of our worst moments. I feel like there's just always some type of lesson to be learned in her books. Not that I've read any of them again, but just reading the back, I feel like it always ends on a positive life, faith-based lesson, which I really appreciate. I just like Vanessa. I think I just like Vanessa Miller. I don't know. Like, I haven't read her books, but I'm feeling the girl. So I'm excited to read that. There's not a book in here that I'm not excited to read, except for The Love Does by Bob Goff. But I want to say I'm like not excited. I just, Next up, this is completely like different, but it is Christian. The Unlikely Yarn of the Dragon Lady. I got this because I have been really into crochet and yarn. I don't knit, but I saw yarn. I saw like Yarn Lady, and I'm like, heck yeah, if it's Christian, we're getting it. And look at this lady on the back. She's so cute. Let's see. Margaret, Rose, Jane, and Fran had a good thing going and meet every week in the dusty quiet of their peaceful chapel and knit prayer shawls. No muss, just ministry. That is, until their pastor boots them out of the church in his last-ditch effort to revive the dwindling congregation. Uptight Margaret isn't having it. Come on, uptight Margaret. Knitting prayer shawls at the mall where people can watch is the most ridiculous idea she's ever heard of, and she's heard of plenty. Can you imagine, like, knitting or crocheting in the mall? That's beyond me. Like, I guess it's because I would knit or I would crochet anywhere, but it's just like, why the mall? I don't. Prayer belongs in the church, not out in the public eye. How are they supposed to knit holiness into these shawls if they're constantly distracted by people? That is a lesson. This is going to be a life lesson for sure. All right. Okay, Sharon. If no choice, the other ladies embrace the challenge. They pack their knitting bags and drag along Margaret, grumbling the whole way. She can't wait to prove them all wrong when this crazy plan fails miserably and show the pastor that she knows best. Margaret is so sassy. Oh my gosh. Without the familiar pattern, the group has been stuck in their own losses, pain, and struggles rise to the surface. And the people who make the situations they encounter every time they try to simply sit and knit take them further out of their comfort zone than they ever imagined. Can they find the courage to tackle the increasing number of knotty issues they learn about in their community, or will the tangle be too much? Cute. Really, really cute. Really, really cute. Also, side note, I don't know why, like, a lot of these books, they'll have, like, fiction and romance, but why can't they say fiction Christian? Like, that helps me. Like, I'm out here Googling Barnes & Nobles, taking so much time to be like, is this a Christian book? I don't know. But anyway, Sharon, I know I haven't read about the author, but I think that this is really cool. She's a facilitator of a prayer shawl ministry and the knitting instructor at to Learn near her home in Texas. And she has been a school play therapist, a homeschooling military wife, and a writer whose work was made into a motion picture after earning recognition with both the Saturday Evening Post and Great American Fiction Contest. So she sounds like a really cool lady, and I am honestly really excited to read this book. Go off, Sharon. Next up, we have Loyally Luke by Pepper Basham. What was the other book that I had by Pepper? Oh, Positively Penelope. Okay, so this cover is super cute. Super, super cute. This book also, I think I wasn't gonna get this. I think because I was at my limit financially, not because I didn't want it, but I'm just like, okay, I spent like way too much on books. Dear reader, my name is Luke Edgewood, and there has been a few things in my life that I require, mainly black coffee and a flannel and lots of solitude, and my dogs Chewy and Indy. What I don't need is romance, so I have no plans to change my 30-year-old bachelor status anytime soon. But my youngest sister thinks that accepting a short-term construction job in the small European country of Skymar, I'm going to follow along in her footsteps and discover my own romantic adventure. Nope, bah humbug, the end. This time, her rom-com movie senses are totally wrong. Or maybe not, because I've met Grace Kelly look-alike who is annoying until she isn't, but she is impossible. As in, nothing can happen between us because she's literally a princess. Even though that's easy to forget when we're working together to restore a castle-like orphanage in a secluded mountain town, and forced proximity includes a small closet, a secret 100-year-old journal, and a tactile memory of an off-limits royal in my arms. Basically, the whole situation has turned into an ooey-gooey magical snow globe of romantic tropes, complete with cute kids and an actual ball. Now, even my sentences are starting to sound like mush. Send high levels of testosterone my way. I'm going to need it. Loyally, Luke. This book sounds really, really cute and really funny and like sarcastic, to be honest. Honestly, I'm not usually into a trope where it's the guy's point of view because I just can't really relate to it, but this is different. Like, the way that she wrote this, it just seems really cute and sarcastic and like, I don't know, really cute. Cover's really cute. So I can't wait to read this. Not gonna read this at the beach, but gonna read it sooner than later. We have a long list. We're piling up. Next up, we have Trust Me by Kelly Irvin. And let's see. A decade ago, Delaney Brower discovered her brother murdered at the San Antonio Art Co-op he founded with his friends. Her artist boyfriend, Hunter Nash, went to prison for the murder despite his non-guilty plea. This morning, Hunter walks out of prison a free man, having served his sentence. This afternoon, Delaney finds her best friend dead, murdered in the same fashion as her brother. Stay out of it. You're next, the killer warns. Oop. Hunter never stopped loving Delaney, though he can't blame her for not forgiving him. He knows he'll get his life back one day at a time, one step at a time, but he's blindsided to realize he's a murder suspect again. When Hunter shows up at her doorstep, asking her to help him find the real killer, Delaney's head says to run away, yet her heart tells her there's more to the story than what came out in the trial. An uneasy truce leads to the probe into a dark past that shatters Delaney's image of her brother. She can't stop and neither can Hunter, which lands both of them in crosshairs of a murderer growing more desperate by the hour. In this gripping romance suspense, Kelly Irvin plumbs the complexity of broken trust in the people we love and in God, and whether either can be mended. The tea. Oh my gosh. So the reason why I got this is because usually I go for like lighthearted romance books, and this was the first like romantic suspense book with like a murder mystery, which I honestly have never read, so I don't even know if that's something that I would be into. But yeah, I got it because it was different, to be honest, and it was still Christian romance, and I did like that she at the end said broken trust in the people we love and in God. I like that she mentioned God. So yeah, this sounds really, really interesting. I'm excited to read this. Sounds really cool. All right, last two. We are at the end. The View from Coral Cove by Amy Clipston. Listen. I have this book by Amy Clipston, Something Old, Something New. And this was like the cutest book that I've ever read in my life. This is like a 5-star read for me. This is also my first Christian fiction romance book, so I have like a little soul tie to it, and she owned an antique store. I already talked about this, but I love this book, and I have been waiting to get my hands on another Amy Clipston book because she writes a lot of the Amish books, and I have not read those yet. It's not something that has been interesting to me yet. I'm sure one day I eventually will, but it just hasn't caught my eye. But that style of writing I just absolutely loved. So when I saw she had this, I saw a cute cover, and I said I have to throw this in the bag. In the wake of a broken engagement and the death of her last surviving family member, romance novelist Maya Reynolds moves to the haven of Coral Cove, North Carolina, to take over her great-aunt's toy store. Some of her grief is immediately seized by imaginative 8-year-old Ashlyn Tanner, who talks about adopting a kitten and inspires Maya to create a princess tea party room in the store. Ashlyn's dad, local vet Brody Tanner, is quickly smitten by the newest resident of his hometown. As a single parent, he sacrifices a lot in order to give Ashlyn the world, so a romantic entanglement with Maya is not a distraction he is looking for. As the three develop a deepening bond in the seaside town where Maya experienced some of her happiest childhood memories, clouds cast a shadow over Maya's hope for the future. An impossible deadline looms over the next novel. A long-held secret by her late mother about Maya's absent father comes to light, and Brody's resolve to avoid romance seems unbreakable. But together they might discover that sometimes happy endings happen outside the pages of Maya's novels too. This sounds super, super cute. I'm really excited to read this. And it's something about, like, Christian writers are always writing about things that happen in North and South Carolina. I'm like, am I missing something? It's like all the love up there. I'm confused. But yeah, this sounds really, really cute. So, and the last one, The Best Summer of Our Lives by Rachel Hawk. And this is 20 years ago. The summer of 77 was supposed to be the best summer of Wild's life. She and her best friend Spring, Autumn, and Snow, the four seasons, had big plans. But those plans have never had a chance. After a teenage prank gone awry, the seasons found themselves on a bus in Tumbleweed, Nowhere, Oklahoma, to spend 8 weeks as camp counselors. All four of them arrived with hidden secrets and buried fears, and the events that unfolded in those 2 months forever altered their friendship, their lives, and their futures. Now, 30-something Summer is at a crossroads. When the latest girl band leaves her in a motel outside Tulsa, she is forced to face the shadows of her past. Returning to the place where everything changed, she soon learns that Tumbleweed is more than a town Returning to the place where everything changed, she soon learns Tumbleweed is more than a town she never wanted to see again. It's a place for healing, reconciling the past with their present, and for finally listening to love's voice. So this sounds really, really cute. I got this because I'm from Oklahoma. So Christian fiction book based in like Oklahoma. Heck yeah, I'm buying it. So that is my last book. Oh my gosh. So we have the two top, the ones that I started with, which was an absolute coincidence. I did not plan that. I don't know which one I'm gonna read first. Oh my gosh. I don't know which one I'm gonna read first. I might do an eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Okay. You know what? No. Okay. I don't know which book is what. But the book that is in my right hand is the one that I'm going to read. Summer in the Spotlight. Boom. Okay, that's fine with me. I really don't care. I'm about to try to read them both in the next couple days. So, looks like I'm starting with this one, and I will update you guys as soon as I read it. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was a long one, but listen, I bought a lot of books and I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna try to keep you guys updated with reviews and some vlogs as I read this, and also just some other vlogs outside of reading. I've been crocheting, so I wanna do like a what I crocheted video, and yeah, just some follow along stuff, just all the life things. So thanks so much for watching, and that's like the third time I said that, but I'm really, really grateful if you stayed tuned this long, and happy reading. Okay, bye.